This should be a quick tutorial on how to create an efficient and easy means to obtain parent contact and email information. So what we've done here, we've created a basic form through Google, and we're going to send this one home in a couple of ways. We'll talk about that in a second. But we'll just look at the setup. Email, that's really all I want this for. But one thing very important with this is the second column. Just don't put name. Make sure you're very specific about your name, child's name, in child's grade. Put an example. Mine says David Rothmeyer, Masha Rothmeyer, grade 11. Because what will happen with this is if you need to get in contact with the student's parent, you might not know the parent's name when going to write an email. It's not going to pop up automatically. You might not even know their last name, obviously. And so what you want to do with all these contacts is have as much information as possible. So if you know that Jennifer F has to be contacted, her parents, etc., you write her name and of course her email, her class email will pop up, and then of course the parents will as well. One thing you always want to do with these forms is make sure you click the permissions. What I often do is I will send the link to the form home with the student, ask them to fill out the form with the parent, and other times what I'll do is I will take this direct link to the form URL, I'll put it in a link shortener program, and I'll type it out and print it out on a small piece of paper and have them take that home to their parents just as a second option. But if you haven't opened this up to public or I'm pretty sure private, I'm sorry, anyone with the link will work it, they won't be able to open the form. So what we have here is I filled this out with a couple of fake emails and whatnot. I'm going to need to download this to my computer. I'm going to export this, download as a command separated value document. Now I open this up in Excel, and this is where you need to go back and fix a few things. So when it's your form, you want to be as accommodating as possible to the parents, and you can put as much information in those columns and questions, if you will, that you need to elicit the right information. But what happens is when you turn this into a C command separated volume document and then try to import this into Google, Google won't like all that extra information. So you want to go back. It won't do anything that I can think of with this timestamp. So you just want to highlight all of this and just get rid of this column altogether. I think we just probably best if we delete it. At the top, Google likes name, so I went and I got rid of the name, your name, child's name, etc. I left this as phone, and then I added, in this case, I put this strange little word here. What I'd like to do is, if like a lot of us over the years, and you've been using Gmail and whatnot for a while, the same sort of softwares, it gets a bit confusing in terms of how many grade 11 courses you've taught. And so what I do at the beginning of each year, each year will be a different genre. I'm pretty sure this year's fruit, so I try to get my classes to choose some sort of potentially the more random the better fruit they can possibly think of. It could be anything. It could be an author. It could be all sorts of things. Something that you would not logically find in your Gmail or in your Google Docs. And then every document I make with them, especially with the contacts, I have that word in there so I can quickly just find that specific group. So what I've done is I've modified the columns at the top. Now it just simply says name, phone. Google will like that much better. It'll recognize this and hopefully autofill those properties. Otherwise, there's really no point in doing this if I have to go and copy and paste this for 85 different parents. I've added the word papaya, which would be the sort of code word for all my this specific class's information, also their documents and everything like that in terms of contact list. I'm going to save this. It'll prompt you some sort of strange thing. Just hit continue. And then I'll command tab save to get the title of this, make it much easier in terms of importing into Gmail. I'm in my contact section of my Gmail. Click on more, import. It's this guy right here. Now I went ahead and had Papaya typed at the top. Technically, it'll import this with the strange name import time and date. But once again, if I have the word Papaya, everybody associated with the word Papaya will automatically pop up. I can select all of these people here, and then I can add them to the newly formed group, which I would call this grade parent. I use the word Papaya, etc. So every time I go to type that, Papaya, I'll get my student contact list and my parent contact list, and I choose or add them both depending on who I want to get that email. Pretty easy, actually very easy. And if I have 25 seconds, which I think I do, I remember trying to do this like 9-10 years ago, and it would literally take the first 2 months of school once I sent a piece of paper home, and then have the kid bring the piece of paper back, and then me trying to interpret the parents' email, their handwriting, etc., etc. Adding the contact, sending an email, having the email come back, everything. Very frustrating. And now, once I make the original document, the template, it's just a question of sending it to the students. It's 10 seconds, having this come back, taking the form, downloading, uploading all of this. As you can tell, took probably about a minute and a half, and it saves a lot of headaches.